You are watching On Demand. Please do not try to vote or enter any competition or other interactivity in this programme, as it may not count and you may still be charged.
Today on your Loose Women Live, it's Kay Adams, Denise Welsh, Colleen Nolan, and Janet Street Porter.
Oh, welcome to the show. We were doing a bit of disco dancing with the audience just before we went live. Janet was loving it. So not me. Coming up today, should the Prime Minister increase benefits? And should there be another general election? We're tackling the latest political headlines in just a few minutes. And trouble at the school gates. Is it OK to drop your kids off in your dressing gown? And Line of Duty and Trigger Point star Vicky McClure tells us. Yeah, how she is using music to fight for the rights of dementia sufferers and their loved ones. And we are really, really thrilled to be joined by members of Vicky's Dementia Choir in our audience today.
Yay!
Including the cutest little doggy I've seen in a long time, little Benji sitting there.
So cute,
we're fighting for Benji, aren't we?
But Kay, I have to say, welcome back.
Oh,
well done,
you
Kay.
Thank you.
And before we actually start talking about it, because we are going to talk about it,
God, and then we're going to stop talking about it.
No, I'm
the
not.
last
I'm going
time
to
we'll
talk about it forever.
Right, okay.
Well, let's have a little look.
Oh, no, do we need to?
Yes, we do.
I'm not looking.
Couple I would like to save, Matt and Nadia.
I'm saving Matt and Nadia.
I'd like to save Matt and Nadia.
This lady is a trooper. I'm proud of you. I know that your girls and your other half Ian's going to be proud of, but the most important thing is you should be proud of yourself because you are a superstar.
Oh my God, let me hug you. You were so good.
Thank you.
Honestly, I'm so proud of you, and I think
We are
you were
so
rocked,
proud.
actually.
No. I really don't think that, and I don't feel that. I mean, I'll be honest, I was gutted because I'd tried my very, very best. I really had, and you don't get the outcome you like in life, but that happens, doesn't it? You know, and you have to take it on the chin.
No, but it's only because I know, you know, we all know, A, how nervous
Well, you
you are.
thought
B,
that
I thought you were going to
abysmal.
be really embarrassingly bad.
No, we did. Yeah. No, I said to Kay,
we're
saying that with love.
I thought I'm going to have to sit on this panel and lie and go, oh, she's doing really well.
I thought Kay
But I
was going to
so
be like
shocked.
Theresa May. I thought she was going to be that bad of a dancer. But
Because
she was
you
totally
can't, you
brilliant.
genuinely can't clap in time normally.
No, I still can't
Yeah, you
clap
were
in
doing
time.
the Charleston and the tank. Oh my God, I thought you were
It
brilliant. I
was,
thought you looked amazing. I thought,
Thank you,
and I
thank
thought I'd like to have seen you go further because I know you're going to get better and better and better.
I think so. Obviously, I am a bit biased, but I think it was the wrong call, personally.
Well.
I think your energy was electric. I think you could
She
tell...
turned into Shirley Ballas.
You could... is that what I said? Oh, my God.
No, you did.
No,
You
but
said you just like
but you could tell you had much more to give, and you could tell... You are a journalist. It is so far out. You're not a
But
performer.
listen, hands up, I blew it in the dance-off.
Yeah, you
blew it.
did,
And
to
I
be
own
fair.
that because, you know what, I know I did.
No,
because
you did.
I blanked. It was... No, you're right. It
I
was
know.
such a long...
But
okay,
you were
we don't go on
tired.
about it, right? OK. It was such a long day. I was so exhausted. You get yourself up for the main performance and your adrenaline's pumping, and then Craig says, you know, it's underwhelming or whatever he said, and I thought, God, I've thrown myself up in the air. I had my tenny ladies on. What else do you want from me? And then you come down again, and then you've got to go to the dance.
And then you probably
And I
start
just-
overthinking why you're in the dance-off,
You're
which
standing there
makes you
thinking,
10
people
times
hate
more
me, people
nervous.
hate me.
Please
I'm
don't beat
terrible.
yourself up about it. I watched it and I just thought you were brilliant. And to do the Charleston with so many steps and to
lifts.
flash your knickers and do all of that. Oh my God!
You know what? I'm more than happy to do that now at any time.
No, sit down. You're on this show now. But, oh, my goodness, Kay, don't beat yourself up.
Well, no, thanks for that. And, you know, I have learned so much from it. I really don't regret it for a second. And in terms of don't beat yourself up, I am going to be more positive about myself because I've always said, well, I can't dance, I can't dance. I could learn to dance. I now know that I could learn to dance. You know, the pressure was too much for me there. I was outside my comfort zone and probably too far outside my comfort zone. And I've got to stop making jokes against myself and, you know, sort
But
of
that's what women
doing myself
do.
down.
When women get to a certain age and they start beating themselves up and saying, I can't do this anymore. I see it with so many of my friends limiting what they can do. And you showed you can do it.
Well, do you know who? Thank you. But just before we get back down to earth to politics, I would just like to say I credit Kai with that. Kai Widdrington, what an exceptional... I say young man, that sounds patronising. I don't want to be patronising. What an exceptional man he is. He was so positive. He never got angry. He was always encouraging. Even when we were going to dance off, he's got me like that, going, come on, we can do this, we can do this.
And he made the perfect partner for Janet when she does it.
He'll be a fabulous partner for Janet.
That day will never come. Kay's done it for me.
Yeah, don't worry, Kai. That day probably won't come.
Well, we're very proud.
Yeah, well, thank you, thank you. Right. Well, we are back down to earth with a bang. Time to talk politics. After a dramatic U-turn on tax cuts for high earners yesterday, Liz Truss today has refused to commit to raising benefits in line with inflation. So Janet, she is prevaricating on this. Is she out of touch?
I think she's out of touch and she's not following what is government policy, because when Boris was elected in a general election, in a democracy, one of the things that Boris said, and Rishi Sunak said it again, that benefits would rise in line with inflation. And inflation is expected to be 10%.
And she's committed to pensions rising.
Well, pensions have got the triple lock on them, so pensions will rise probably by 10%. Because the one thing the Tories don't want to do is offend the pensioners, because they're one of the few voting groups that they tend to rely on. So I think that there is a big question mark over whether Liz Truss has got the mandate from the country now. Like, she hasn't even got the mandate from her own party, because they seem to be going behind the scenes saying they're going to vote against it. They're not going to back her. Michael Gove is still causing trouble. And Nadine Dorries has said she wants to call a general election.
Yeah. I mean, do you think... Would you be up for another general election, Denise, now?
Honestly, I mean, I've said before on this show, since everything that's happened over the last few years, as somebody who voted Labour all her life, I am really politically homeless. I really don't know where to go anymore. And at this present time, I would probably vote Labour, because we have to have some fresh blood in there. But I wouldn't trust the opposition particularly. But I really don't know. I'm actually wishing, from a Conservative point of view, that Boris hadn't gone, and I never thought I'd say that. I think we're in a worse mess than when Boris was in. But let me just say this, as regard a more generic thing, because I can't pretend to understand the sort of fiscal environment as well as you guys do. But just from a poverty point of view, whether it's been Labour or whether it's been Conservative, I'm from the North East. The North East has the highest rate of child poverty still, you know, and that has never, ever, ever been any different, whether it's been with Labour or...
I would dispute that. I mean, and the Conservative Party has been in power now for 12 years.
Well, they have, but if you look way back, this has been going on for a long, long time. The homeless are in a dreadful situation. You know, it's across the board. I am very lucky that I am in a position where this year I am going to be able to afford to pay my bills, but I have friends and know people who are in a desperate situation, and I don't know where they go and what they do.
That question of, you know, are they out of touch, are politicians out of touch, of whatever, you know, political party, do you think people have had to live, you know, to really have struggled, to really have to know what it's like not to make ends meet, to be able to make policy about it?
Well, no, I don't actually. Obviously, I think that helps if you've experienced life experience of that. But I'm aware, and I have friends who very much live like that. So I'm aware of how you know, it's all very well me having an opinion, but you'll always, or us having an opinion. People go, what would you know? You know, you've got lovely housing, you do this job, and you earn money. But I have friends who live like that, and just as a human being, I can feel. I can empathise with how they're struggling. So I don't think it's a case of we need someone to come in who's lived that life. I think as a human being, you should be aware of what that life is. My other stance on it is, you know, it's all this, oh, we need another election and blah, 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 and everyone's panicking because there's all these changes. A, we all hate change. People always panic when there's change. B, if they totally believe in this and what they're doing, then I think at least we need to give them a chance to prove their point. And if it doesn't prove... Thank you, dog. And if it doesn't... I always get one fan in the audience. But I think...
But then there's a lot of people who are saying, you know, I'm on the breadline now, you know, you're talking about energy prices going up, you're talking about inflation going up.
But they have reasons why they're doing that.
Yeah, I know, but it's all right to say give it time.
Does it have to get worse to get better?
There'll be people at home right now thinking, I don't have time.
I know, but that's going to happen with any party.
It is going to happen. There's nothing that could happen now that will save.
We're in a mess.
I think if there was an election, I've urged people to vote, because to sit here and complain about politicians is going to get us nowhere. We get the politicians we deserve because we vote for them. The fact that Liz Truss was elected by a tiny minority of the Tory party, the Tory members, not the country as a whole, kind of makes me cross. But I think if there was an election, I urge people to use their vote to encourage talented people with vision to go into politics in all parties.
But they all promise it, Janet, and then we vote them in and they don't do it.
I just wish there could be more collusion and they could work together more instead of just shouting each other down all the time.
I agree, Denise, and I think that in politics what we're seeing is the public are rather more sophisticated than the politicians because we agree on so many things. Yeah. And there is a consensus, a broad agreement about what we should be doing about simpler tax, better benefits, fairer pay and
health
a better
service,
run
education,
all those things people broadly agree on. But they might not be, find the political parties, as they are at the moment, that attractive. But you've got to vote.
I agree with you. If we get too cynical about it, we only do ourselves a disservice. Anyway, still to come today, Vicky McClure is here. We're very excited about that. And in just a moment, as Amanda Holden says, she refuses to let her 16-year-old daughter wear skimpy outfits. Is it ever the place of a parent to tell their teen what to wear? Our thoughts on that next. Good to see you again. Still to come, Janet and Denise go head-to-head on whether it's OK to don a dressing gown on the school run. Ooh, yes, I know. But which one loves their loungewear and which one says that PJs in the playground is a slippery slope?
What was that? That was shocking.
It really was. I'm bad at everything. Competition time now, and we've got some cash to give away. £75,000. Josie is live to tell us all about it. Hi, Josie.
Good afternoon, ladies, or should I say 00 Gibson, because we are celebrating 60 years of James Bond films, and I couldn't be anywhere better to tell you about that right now. I'm at the St. Ermin's Hotel, which is steeped in British espionage history. MI5, MI6, Secret Service, all used to meet here and discuss ways of how to protect the country. Now, I'm on a not-so-secret mission. I'm here to tell you about our incredible competition, which could see somebody out there £75,000 richer. That's right, we're giving away £75,000 in tax-free cash, and somebody out there has got to win the lot, and that somebody really could be you. Here's all the details.
For a chance to win, text cash to 86060. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website, entries cost £2. Call 09068 786060. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY40 PO Box 7558 Derby DE10NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over, and lines close on Friday the 28th of October at 3 p.m. Good luck!
I'm just writing a secret love letter there now. It takes one entry to enter, and that one entry could really change your life. £75,000 in tax-free cash could be yours. Good luck.
Oh, thank you, Josie. There she is, shaken but not stirred. Yeah. Sitting there. Right, Amanda Holden has admitted that she often pinches her 16-year-old daughter Lexi's outfits for herself after confiscating them if she deems them too skimpy. So, too skimpy for a 16-year-old daughter, but she just decides to wear them herself. But is it the place of a parent to tell their teens what to wear? Colleen. Listen, Auntie Colleen.
It's almost our job, isn't it? I think it's part of the job description. My mother used to say to me, "You're not going out in that, Colleen Nolan. You'll catch your death." And I always said...
She was Scottish?
And I always said, I'm never going to do that to my kids. I'm never going to... But I've never, ever stopped Kira at 16 or whatever to go out. But there's times when she's walked down and I've had to hide the shock from my face at 16 where I thought, well, she's almost wearing clothes, just not quite, you know.
Right.
I've got dishcloths bigger. But, yeah...
And so would you say to her, go and put on someone else? See, I never have. I do
a bit
with my girls.
because sometimes, especially younger than that, I've got nieces that, you know, 11 and 12 that have worn outfits where I've thought, and they're taller than me and they look at least 16. And that's my issue. At the same time, mentally, they're 12. So some guy comes up and hits on them that thinks they're 18. I just think it's too much.
I mean, Denise, I can see you warming up to go into this. I mean, I've got two teenage girls. One's not a teenager anymore, and they have worn outfits in their time that both Ian and I are like, oh my goodness, exactly as you say. I mean, I remember they used to get dresses delivered, and they would come in an envelope, and I would say, "What's in that envelope?" And they'd say, "It's a new dress." I say, "What? How has this happened?" I've got knickers bigger than that. But I've never, ever told them that they can't wear it.
I've never told them they can't go out.
Because I just feel that feeds into this whole narrative about it's your problem as a girl if you wear something skimpy, that if somebody hits on you or you know, things get uncomfortable, and I just don't think we should do that. And
they never even comment on it, though?
Nope. Because why would I make... It's such a sensitive age as a teenager. I let them wear it, and my elder daughter particularly is now 20. She now wears vintage clothes. She never wears makeup.
They grow out
She's
of
very
that
lucky.
stage.
It lasted 18 months.
I just think it's your job to tell them when they look ridiculous.
I never tell a teenager they look ridiculous.
I did. I mean, my thing was I used to have to tell my dad his skirts were too short to go out, because he used to do a drag at my dad. And obviously I had boys. I always think now that with Lincoln, thank God we didn't have a daughter together, because their lives would have been hell. I think he would have been so strict on things like that. My mum was a bit like Amanda. My mum was very trendy, and she was not ashamed of wearing quite skimpy clothes. But she used to be against me wearing them, and there was once, and I've talked about this disco before. It was a disco in Whitley Bay behind the ice rink called Zone 22.
That's where I saw Bros.
It's Zone 22?
No, Whitley Bay Ice Rink.
Oh, Whitley Bay Ice Rink.
Yeah,
don't talk about Bros. Sorry.
I've got a vision of me hugging Matt and Luke. There is a picture of me and Matt and Luke. Thanks. I'm sorry, carry on.
But my mum made me wear... For some reason, she didn't want me to wear this dress I was going to wear. She made me wear some trousers, a blue school shirt, and she told me that cravats were in for girls. And I wore a cravat, a side parting, and I remember, and I swear on my life, I was at the bar getting a soft drink or whatever, and some guy came right away across the dance floor, and I went like this, and he went, "Are you a lad or a lass?" Stayed with me ever since, because my mum stopped me. But no, I mean, I've always affectionately said to my boys when they went through that stage of wearing those trousers pulled right down with the underpants out and everything, but I would definitely have a problem with a girl.
I loved it when my mum said, you can't go out looking like that. As you say, it's their job. You know, you'd get to the bottom of the stairs and she'd go, "You're not going out in that." And you think, result, I look fantastic.
Yeah.
I look fantastic. That hatred made me the person I am today. Sure, I wore some ridiculous outfits, but you knew you were right. You knew you looked fantastic. If your mother thought, oh.
Yeah.
And I used to look at my mother and I think, you'd be better off in the Natural History Museum. You frankly are a total dinosaur. And she was probably under 45. She's only 45!
Well, listen, let's move this up a gear. Staying with outfit choices, is it OK to do the school run in your dressing gown? Not according to one school in Middlesbrough, who issued a polite notice to parents that wearing bedtime attire, and specifically dressing gowns, in the playground is not appropriate. So, Janet, what do you think?
The idea of wearing a dressing gown to take your kids to school is absolutely repulsive. Repulsive. I mean, what message does it send your kids? I value you so much, I can't be bothered. I've just rolled out of bed, picked up the nearest piece of fabric, draped it over my body and shoved you down the road.
Yeah, but if you're taking your kid to school early in the morning, I would
not
never,
even that early.
I would never walk in the playground in my pyjamas or a robe. But I did drive them to school in my pyjamas when I didn't have to get out with them.
Why could you not
Yes,
put
because I
on
wanted to go...
elasticated trousers?
No,
They
because
just-
I wanted to go straight back to bed.
I'm getting a
I mean,
little...
what message does this send young people?
Janet, turn to your
Can't
other
be
side.
bothered.
Turn to your other side.
What's your point?
Would
the
you wear
same.
that back to Whitley Bay Ice Rink?
Well, I tell you what, I used to be the same as you. Bearing in mind, you know, there were times that I might have had a couple of sherries the night before and I either wanted to go back to bed. I never got out the car in me jammies and me dressing gown, but I, without a doubt, because there was always so much going on, so you just slip your slippers on, get in your car. Who cares? If you're not getting out of the playground, then it doesn't really matter, you know. I mean, obviously,
But what
Louis would
standards does that
cringe with...
set for your kids, really, that you can't be bothered?
They were
First thing
just
in the
glad to
morning,
get. They were glad to get a lift, Janet.
They're glad to get away from you.
But,
Honestly.
but is it the school's place to tell parents?
If they're standing in the
Absolutely.
playground, I think
Do
it
you?
looks. I just think
I
it
don't
looks
think
a
it
bit
is. Well, so
rubbish.
what if somebody, you know, has got some other outrageous fashion choice?
Right.
And,
Well,
the,
so
and the
what?
headmistress
So what?
decides she doesn't like tattoos, the headmistress decides
You
that she
think you
doesn't
can
like...
wear what you like.
Schools expect children to wear uniforms because they say it's good, it teaches, everybody's the same, and kids are told to stick to the uniform, not deviate. But it's perfectly OK for the woman that gave birth to them to stick a horrible
I think
dressing
it
gown
says I'm
round.
very comfortable in who I am. That's what I think it says.
Oh.
I mean, listen, I'm being slightly facetious. If there is a limit, but all I'm saying is that there were times in a rush in the morning that I would absolutely wear my dress gown and pyjamas and just
Listen, I bought you a
chuck them
present.
out.
Oh, there you go. Oh, don't. She won't even look at it.
no
Look at
way.
that little...
That's nice. It's
Coming up next, Vicky McClure talks weddings, a Line of Duty reunion and a very special challenge. And if you're over 50 and looking for love, then we are revealing the top ways you can be considered a catch. But I've just looked at them and you three are out of it already. What is this? You're rubbing it in now, girls. You're really rubbing it in now. Welcome back to Tuesday Loose Women and getting live and loose all the way through till 1:30. It's me, Kay Adams, Colleen Nolan, Janet Street Porter and Denise Welsh. But thankfully, Vicky McClure's here in a moment. It's just time to mention the good news that voting for this year's National Television Awards has been extended and Loose Women is one of just 4 shows shortlisted in the daytime category. To cast your vote, go to nationaltvawards.com/vote to make your choice, which is, of course, Loose Women. Thank you.
That's 3 then.
There was, I think we've got 3,
Yeah.
maybe 4. Now, a survey of over 50 singletons has revealed what they look for most in a new partner. Now, you might be surprised at the results here. And also, I have to say, don't get excited, any of you, because I think you're all ruled out immediately. Because number 22 is you haven't been married more than twice, so that's Janet out. She's gone.
And me out.
Are you out as well?
I'm on my 3rd.
You're on your 3rd? What are you on?
I've had 2.
All right, well, OK, You're still in the game, but never mind. The number 24 is you're up to speed with current affairs.
Oh, God. Really?
And number 10 is you have your own teeth. So Janet maybe gets back with that one.
Yeah. Own hair, own teeth, sense of humour. Not everyone's cup of tea, but sense of humour.
Do you know what? Sense of humour is number one. Is that what you would make number one, Janet?
Yes.
Yeah, but that's
then-
regardless of age, isn't it? Regardless of being over 50. Why do they do these ridiculous surveys?
Yeah.
Because
Good
they give us
at
something to talk
DIY.
about. Yeah.
Good at DIY, I would put at 95%.
Would you?
Is this you looking for a guy, or do you mean a guy?
Yeah, 95%
Oh, so this is her looking for
DIY
a guy.
skills. Because
Technically
anyone that's
savvy.
good at rewiring a plug is going to be good at something else.
Are we talking good with the hands? Yeah.
Skills.
Skills. What's your number one then?
What for?
But, you know, in a mate.
Oh, is it me looking for a mate?
Yeah.
It's not them. Oh, no, sense of humour, probably.
Sense of humour.
Makes me laugh.
Skills.
Yeah.
Humour and could lift me up.
Could lift you up. Important. Why is that important?
It just is. Move on.
Well, I've ticked loads of boxes. I'm in good shape physically.
Yeah.
I've got an adventurous streak. I've got my own teeth. I've got a lust for life. Like to holiday abroad, not through Heathrow, unfortunately.
You don't get too drunk.
Yeah.
No, I don't get too drunk. And I've got quite a lot of emotional baggage,
Yeah,
but
that's
I'm not
what my
really
worry
making
is.
a big thing of that.
And
Yeah.
what about you cooking a mean Sunday roast?
Well, if you cook, I can cook a mean Sunday roast, but if you want any hanky-panky and all the other things that this list is aiming at, by the time
Come
you've
to
eaten
me.
roast potatoes,
Get food off her and the rest off me.
I think that's good. That's good. Bit of job share there.
Oh, my God.
Now, best known for hunting down bent coppers as DI Kate Fleming in Line of Duty, more recently risking her life in ITV's Trigger Point. Oh, that was tense, that was, wasn't it? Tense.
Brilliant.
Vicky McClure is more than used to challenges, and here she is to tell us about her latest. It is Vicky McClure. You are very popular with your dementia choir, lots of whom are in the audience, and we're going to talk about that later, so don't worry, and we'll be hearing from them, so really looking for a great performance. But Vicky, I'm disappointed you're not in your dressing gown, because I believe you're a fan and you can
I am a fan. I'm a massive fan of a dressing gown. Even like, you know, you get in and you're cold.
Yeah.
I just whack it over my clothes.
Yeah, exactly. You're comfy.
I mean, I don't have kids, so I don't know about the argument of going to school, but I don't think my nephews would mind.
No, I don't think they would at all. No, we'll not be taken to school by Vicky McClure. That's for sure. You must be the coolest auntie in town with Line of Duty and Trigger Point and all these things behind you.
Amazing.
Oh, thanks.
We've got it. Is there going to be another one? I mean,
That is
such
the
a
number
fan.
one question, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Line of Duty or Trigger Point?
Well, both.
Well,
both.
Trigger Point, there is going to be another one.
Good.
Line of Duty, we celebrated 10 years this year. We all met up. Had a great night out a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we all want to do it, of course. It's just timing. And we have a break usually anyway, so this doesn't feel too strange for us, but, you know.
Now,
we don't
I've got
look
to
it.
ask you something. I'm completely hooked on Line of Duty. Obviously, you're fantastic. Adrian Dunbar is my secret crush.
Yeah, it's not that
Not
secret.
anymore.
Secret. Well,
Get
not-
in line. There's a lot of people.
I know, but I've got special skills. But
Can he change a plug? Yeah.
he can certainly sing and play the piano because I've been watching Ridley. But what I want to ask you, after you've done Line of Duty, do you carry on talking like that in that anxiety-making way? I cannot stop watching it. How do you develop
Yeah,
that
the
way?
acronyms and all that.
All those...
No,
yes.
I definitely don't. I mean, Jed is like the most incredible writer. You know, we pick up the scripts and we're just always sort of blown away. But no, I can't.
What does it look like written down?
Oh, it just looks like stress.
Hieroglyphics.
Yeah, it is. It's such a skill trying to remember the lines, and actually, because he's such a good writer, it does make it slightly easier. And actually, you know, all the years that we've been doing it now, you start to get into a bit of a rhythm. But yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah.
So no, I definitely don't talk like that in real life. The choir will tell you that.
So what about on the personal front? Are you going to get time to fit in a wedding? Because I think it was
I hope
postponed,
so.
wasn't
Johnny!
it? I know.
I know who's going to sing at my wedding.
Wasn't it COVID that kind of stopped?
Yeah, I mean,
plans?
I'm not saying we like had a plan and we'd like booked things. It was just we'd started to make the plans. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then COVID came in, and then, you know, it was a really busy time for me. We were filming Line of Duty 6 in COVID, and then lots of other work came in, and it just...
And Johnny's busy, isn't he?
Johnny's
with all his...
so busy.
Yeah.
He's got so much going on. So, yeah, as much as, like, work shouldn't always be the priority, we love what we do. So it has been for now, but, yeah, we will
And you were saying you feel
there.
kind of like a married couple anyway, don't you?
Do.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm ready for a party.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So how did you two meet?
We met on a film that Johnny had written and starred in, and he cast me as his girlfriend.
Oh, it was meant to be. And was it instant?
Honestly, it was so instant. It was... I remember ringing my mum at work and going, I've fallen in love. And I really, you know, like, genuinely, as much as people, it might make you feel a bit ill, I love him more every day.
It doesn't make us feel ill.
Yeah, I'm very...
The other thing that's really impressive, I've read loads of interviews with you where you always stick up for your hometown and where you grew up, and you're really, really strong about that. And, you know, I was born and brought up in London, and I'm passionate about London, but in your profession, loads of actors move to London just for ease of work.
I think, you know, I do shout about Nottingham a lot because it's not, you know, it's not a big city in the way that it does shout very loud, but also just don't forget where you came from.
Yeah.
You know, it's more about that than anything. And, you know, my family keep me very grounded, and I want to be close to my nephews and my sister and my mum and dad, and I am, and we all live really close to each other. And that means more to me than anything, you know, so it is important,
And I know, obviously, talking about the Dementia Choir, and we're going to hear a lot more about that in just a minute, you know, very much based in Nottingham, and that's the kind of hub of the choir. And I know the community is really appreciative of everything that you've done. You got an honorary doctorate from... So we're going to talk about that next. More from Vicky McClure. Don't miss it. Tomorrow on Loose Women, we're joined by TV presenter Adrian Childs, who'll be reunited with our Christine and sharing stories of health and healing, from being diagnosed with attention deficit disorder in his 50s to re-evaluating his relationship with alcohol. Adrian Childs, tomorrow on Loose Women. Welcome back. Vicky McClure is back with us alongside Julie Hill from the Dementia Choir, which is back this Monday night. Let's take a look.
He's just not getting it, is he? Mick's just...
He'll get it.
He will get it, but he's...
We're going to record it separately. So.
Right, OK.
I'm determined to beat it for him, with him, whatever, but he just can't do it anymore.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
There's new voices, it's a new space, he's got cans on, he's got a new song, it's a new line, there's a lot, do you know what I mean? It is a lot.
But he can't even do it to two.
Oh, Vicky, I've watched the other programmes. This one goes out on Monday. It's clearly a very emotional watch,
It is. It's a very real watch, it's very emotional and it's joyful. You know, everybody that's here today, not just the choir, their carers, their family members, Benji the dog, they all matter, you know, and everybody is affected by this. And what was so important today was that there was somebody here on the panel living with dementia, and Julie speaks so beautifully for us all the time. That I wanted you to hear it from, you know, Julie.
And Julie, you're the youngest member of the choir,
I am,
believe.
yes.
Can I ask you when you were diagnosed?
2017.
Right.
Wow.
Just in your late 40s?
Yeah. Wow.
How did you become aware? I mean, because I know you were doing a very high-pressure job in a council, weren't you?
I work for the council, and I've always had a job where you have to look presentable, from hairdressing to working in the hospital. And I got as I couldn't do my hair, and I couldn't work out what kind of clothes I'd needed to put on for certain days or meetings. And I was having to get my daughter to set me out a week's worth of clothes. So I knew, down to my underwear, you know, and my washer, I couldn't use my washer, I hadn't got a clue. So I decided, I took it on myself to nip off to the doctors You know, I was getting a little bit worried. And so I had a little test in the doctors and he sort of, no, you've not passed that. So I went off to another place to have another test and again, I failed that. And that's when I then went off to the hospital. But all in all, it took just over 3 years to get a diagnosis.
Wow. 3 years?
3 years.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. I was tested for everything. You know, I'm raring to go with everything else. Just the brain's gone on holiday.
But you knew, obviously, yourself
I knew,
that I need to keep going. So how did
knew.
you feel when you finally got the diagnosis?
I was relieved.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I cried, but it wasn't tears of, oh, my God, I've got this illness.
It
But
explained to you what had been
explained
happening.
everything to me. I totally understood why I was feeling this way.
I mean, I guess the doctors probably weren't looking for it because even
No,
doctors have this
exactly.
idea that it is something that happens to
over
older people.
150 types.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many different types of dementia. And you can speak to anyone of the choir. Getting a diagnosis is not easy.
No.
And it's really frustrating because as much as Julie doesn't want it, the fact that she knew she got that meant that she could recognise the support that she needs.
Yeah.
And yet the support that we
Isn't
really
there.
need isn't out there,
No, it's not out there.
which we're touching on.
And that's what you really want to get home in this latest
Yeah.
documentary, isn't it? That you want
Well, it's
a
a
change
postcode
of
lottery.
policy.
That's the kind
Yes.
of problem. You can go to certain areas and that's the place to go and get diagnosed, and then you can go to other
Yeah.
areas. And once you get diagnosed,
You can't get any support.
you can't
But
get any
Julie,
support out there.
being in the choir, how has it helped you? I mean,
Massively.
yeah, tell me what how.
Just being with people that totally understand what we're going through and how it feels,
Yes.
you know, and you don't kind of feel on your own.
Yes.
You know, with Vicky and everybody, we're a family.
Yeah.
You know, when we support each other, we look after each other. When we're having a bad day and we're at choir, we can pull together and we look after each other. It's great.
And Vicky, you started the choir really in memory of your Nana Iris?
Yes.
Who
yeah.
had dementia?
Yeah, my nana had dementia. She had vascular dementia. And my mum, you know, it was a very confusing time, first time we'd ever really come across it. But she'd started to lose her speech, so music became the way of communicating, and it really did. And, you know, from then on, after meeting the choir and setting that all up, we actually delved into that scientifically. You know, this isn't just, oh, this is nice, let's sing a song. You know, we challenge the choir, the challenges that we put them through, just even today, being here, you know, it's like they've got their lives to live, there's lots to do, and we, you know, we want to make sure that they sound brilliant, and we've got people like Mark DeLissa, who's, you know, the best choir master in the world.
And Daniela.
And Daniela, of course, who's also, you know, part of the choir family, and we want to make sure that they sound great. Because they've all got a passion for music from previous times, whatever, you know, Kev was in a band, lots of people were musically connected anyway. Yeah. So it's not just about whacking the radio on, you know, it's music therapy really is something that if we can get government and people in power to actually make sure that if a GP says, right, you've got dementia, but these are things that can really help, holistic help, and music is definitely a massive part of that.
Yeah.
It's clearly much more than a TV project for you.
Oh, yeah,
Vicky.
this is lifelong, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the UK's biggest killer, and we have no cure, and that's the hard
The
part.
UK's biggest killer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're really looking forward to hearing the choir, which we are going to do very shortly. And Julie, can I just thank you very much
That's
for
all
coming
right.
and speaking
Can
to
I
us.
just say to you, we don't suffer with dementia. We live with dementia.
Yeah.
Dementia lives.
You know, and I think we did use that expression, Julie, and I absolutely take that correction, and you're absolutely right. So I'm
Thank
glad
you.
that you said that. Thank you very much indeed. It's time for Josie's competition, but we are going to hear the choir singing, so please stay with us for that.
Good afternoon, ladies. We are celebrating all things James Bond. It is 60 years anniversary of James Bond films, and we're better placed to come than the St. Ermin's Hotel in Westminster. I'm currently at the Claxton Bar ordering myself a martini, shaken, not stirred. We are also celebrating our incredible competition, which is going to see somebody out there £75,000 richer. Now, if you break £75,000 down, time. It's like having £6,000 injected into your bank account every month for one whole year. Just imagine all the incredible experiences that you could do with that sort of money. But you need to pick up the phone and get the entry in. Remember, with all of our competitions, there is always a guaranteed winner, and that winner could be you. Here's all the details you need to know. Good luck.
For a chance to win, text cash to 86060. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website, entries cost £2. Call 09068 786060. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY40 PO Box 7558 Derby DE10NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over, and lines close on Friday the 28th of October at 3 p.m. Good luck!
Well, that's almost it for today. Tomorrow, our Christine will be reunited with Adrian Childs. We're also honouring Gloria's late daughter, Karen Keating, on what would have been her 60th birthday. But for now, please welcome Vicky McClure's Dementia Choir with a performance of I'm a Believer. OK, guys, take it away for us, please, if you would.